Hi everyone, this is a review video from the last night's Lotus Sutra lab discussion group. So yesterday we talked about a few pages from Brook Ziporyn's Emptiness and Omnipresence, where he talks about Buddhist ultimate truth called emptiness of all things. In Mahayana Madhyamika understanding of emptiness, normally, as you're familiar with that term, emptiness in a simplified version means like everything has no self-nature. A cup or desk or myself is without self-nature that sustains itself, that causes itself, and that makes itself endure over time. Why? Well, because everything arises and perishes depending on its necessary relation to so many other things, which is innumerable. This emptiness as the lack of the self-nature of all things is in Tiandai, Chinese tradition, was interpreted as emptiness. Thus, everything is without self-nature. That then means everything is ambiguous. Emptiness was taken as an emptiness of all things was taken as an ambiguity of all things. What does that mean? Ziporyn brings up a metaphor of the ambiguous circle. And what is that practical implication to our everyday life? That's the purpose of this video and the next one, which will focus on the story, practical implication part. So let's see. Let's review how he does this. So ambiguity of all things as emptiness of all things, right? So he brings up this kind of metaphor. What is this? Can you say? Well, I don't know, like an ambiguous, like a circle, maybe? Yeah. What is this now? This is the metaphor he brings up in his book, page 147 or something. Number 0. Yeah. How about this? Alphabet O. How about this now? Somebody's eyeglasses, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, like a eyeglass, one of the eyeglasses of this Santa Claus. Well, it doesn't look like it, but okay, so we at least see 3 different ways of talking about or seeing this thing, right? Number 1, 0. Number 2, alphabet O. Number 3, eyeglass of Santa Claus, right? And the question is, do you find any of these, among any of these 3 perspectives, the wrong one, wrong perspective? Everything is true, actually, right? Number 0, when seen from the context of number. Alphabet O, if seen from the context of alphabet. Eyeglass, if seen from the context of eyeglasses. So this itself does not change, but remains the same, right? I mean, kind of same and different at the same time. Because as soon as context changes, as soon as the standpoint of how, from where you see this thing changes, then this transforms itself. This is transformed. And the meaning of this constantly keeps changing. This itself is empty on its own. And in Tiandai, they thought about the further implications of what it means by having no self-nature. Well, because of no self-nature, nothing makes sense. Tiandai actually took it as, because everything is without self-nature, if seen in different contexts, anything makes sense. That's sort of the emptiness qua ambiguity of all things implies the illimitable or infinite openness or infinite possibility for this to become anything, because everything depends, identity of this thing depends on the context you bring in, or standpoint or perspective you bring in. And this does not only imply to some like material objects, or but also it applies to humans as well. Well, let's say this is ambiguous. Oh, well, this is the book. But if you're not interested in Buddhism, this is nothing, useless. But for me, I'm interested in Buddhism, Buddhist philosophy. So this is like a treasure. For some people who are looking for a doorstop, and you find this book can be a doorstop. Again, depending on context and the perspective, things changes, and the meaning of the thing changes, right? And so then this reveals that if you argue or fight over what is right and what is wrong, to me it seems like meaningless, or like shouldn't be a focus of a conversation. Because as soon as you have something as right perspective, that must be necessarily packed with other perspectives. As soon as you have number 0, there will be something more to it, more to number 0, such as alphabet O or eyeglass. So Ziporyn says, because of this necessary relationship between one way of seeing coming with any other ways of seeing, everything nature, everything there is there's a more to it aspect to all things. More to it, adjectival form, more tuitive, he makes up a word. And a noun form of it, more tuitivity. So everything has more tuitivity. As soon as you see this one way, there must be more other ways to see that. This is interesting, right? Sort of reveals the nature of our act of seeing something.